This is Dr. Ilo, and today we are talking about my show, Caring for Your Health. But today we're going to focus more on weight loss and how do we get to weight loss. Now, weight loss is basically a process. Um, when you are above certain basic metabolic index, we're talking about if you are above 30 of a BMI, we call you obese. And if you're above 26, between 26 and 30, we call you overweight. Now, the problem with weight gain and being obese is that you have very high risk of metabolic syndrome, which includes diabetes, coronary artery disease, stroke, and hypertension, and multiple other things. You also have a high risk of skin infections and all that, especially yeast infections, because you have a high likelihood of having those infection affecting your skin, especially in the folds. So how do we get somebody to lose weight? That is the most important aspect of this show. Now, when somebody comes to my office, the first thing I try to do is teach the person about exercise. Now, exercise comes in different forms. But I always think the best exercise is the one you love to do, because you don't want to get bored. Because if you get bored, then you lose that urge to exercise more. And then it becomes very counterproductive. Now, how do you get to the point where you will know the best exercise for you? I think the best way is to try all kinds of exercise. Whether you like to play tennis, whether you like to play pickleball, whether you like to play ping pong, whether you like to run. You have to try all, and then you decide which one to pick and which one actually gives you joy. So if you have joy in your exercise, it gives you optimal endurance and optimal benefits when you exercise, because then you're happy, you're doing what you like, you're socializing. It's no longer work for you. It is joy, it is happiness, it is doing something. Time moves fast. I like to play tennis, and I can tell you that I'm the kind of guy that can play tennis for 4 hours without even stopping. Though that's not healthy either. You have to stop, hydrate yourself. You have to take some time off a little bit and rest your muscles. And in that way, prevent yourself from having injury, like I did. I have wrist injury because of exercise. I like to play and play and play and play because I love the game. And I'm a guy that lost a lot of weight because of this exercise that I went into. Now, what are the benefits of exercise? The benefits includes you lose weight, you improve your insulin, and you improve your energy, you decrease your blood pressures, you reduce your cholesterol levels. You basically reduce all those risks that are associated with weight gain, especially obesity. And what happens if you tried and you can't get there? The best is to try again. I mean, some people will advocate, why don't you try some medications? I mean, in my practice, we give some medications like phentermine. Phentermine, 37.5 milligram once a day, is a good appetite suppressant, and it also improves some activities in your body to help you lose some weight. It works for some people, it doesn't work for others. And also for men, we've tried to do some hormonal treatments, especially those with low testosterone levels or those with very low energy levels. Before then, we have to try to find out if there's any other thing that could have been the cause of weight gain that we don't know about, and what they call underlying illness. And we talk about like hypothyroidism, somebody with a TSH that is very high. We try to replace that. Maybe that's why the person metabolism slowed down and they suddenly started gaining weight. And when you replace it, they become more energetic and they are more willing to do more. Another thing is depression. Depression is a big one. Some people who are depressed are not motivated for anything. So how do you get them to be motivated? Sometimes antidepressant helps. Sometimes you have to find out why they are depressed in the first instance. Are they having marital issues? Are they having social issues? Are they having financial problems? These are things you have to check and try to correct. And if you can't correct it, then you can try some medication. We have many antidepressants out there. And then see if that improves the person's mood to work more. And then if they go and work more, then that helps a lot in getting them in speed with exercising. Because the exercise is important, though not as important as what you eat. Because if you exercise a lot and you eat a lot, then basically you're not going to lose weight. And if you have lost weight already, if your BMI is optimal, the next phase is to maintain your weight, because you don't want to lose more weight when you're already in optimal weight. If your BMI is 21, 22, 23, you are what they call in a balance. So how do you balance what you eat and what you burn out? So then the best way to find out and actually make that happen is check your weight. If you have a scale at home, you check your weight maybe once a week. And if you're gaining weight, you might cut down on what you eat. If you are losing weight, you might eat a little bit more, stay in the balance. Because if you are malnourished and you're losing your muscles, that's not good either. Because if you're very malnourished, you're losing not just the musculoskeletal muscles, you're also losing some muscles elsewhere, heart muscles and other important muscles in your body. And that could be dangerous. You don't want to be malnourished either. But at the same time, you don't want to be obese. You don't want to have a weight gain. So now, what is obesity? Obesity is basically that you're eating more than what your body requires of you. So if you're eating a lot, you're gonna gain weight. Because what is weight? Weight is fat storage. It's storage. You're taking a lot of calories. They're stored in fat. Initially they're stored in glycogen in your liver, but then they're converted to fat. Those fats are stored in every other part of your body, and that adds to weight. And then you see yourself gaining a lot of weight. And moreover, if you gain weight and you want to burn it out, you have to start by decreasing your calorie intake. If you have calorie intake from fluids, like people drink a lot of pap and all that, you need to cut it down. If you're eating a lot of food, 4 times a day, you cut it down to 3 times a day, and see where that takes you. If it doesn't work, cut it down to twice a day. And sometimes it's good to fast. You might fast for a few days. Now that's difficult because sometimes when people have been eating quite a lot, it becomes a dopamine issue. It becomes pleasure feeding, and that can be very difficult. When you get to that mindset that you gotta eat. Let's go to the next stage. The next stage is what happens when you fast. When you fast, you convert some of the fatty acids to ketones. Ketones are they are they can be very good. Um, they can help you produce energy. And when you also fast, you have some of the glycogen stored in your liver converted back to glucose to maintain a steady glucose level for you. Now, as long as you're healthy, you shouldn't worry about fasting, at least in the first few days, because your body finds a way to convert some of those fats, some of those storage in your body into glucose and give you a certain level of energy that you will need for your body to function. And when you pass that level and you're still feeling very hungry, it's not a bad thing to eat. It's good to eat sometimes. You eat, get some energy. Try to work out a regimen for yourself. Try to walk around and burn as much fat as you can. And I encourage people to see if they can burn up to 600 calories. How do you check that? I mean, there are so many things available right now. I mean, I have an Apple Watch. It tells me how many calories I'm burning in a day. And then usually normal person without too many activities, you burn about 1,200 to 1,500 calories, depending on how big you are. And then if you exercise and burn about 600 more, that gives you about 2,100 calories, which is good, depending on how big you are. So, and we try to get people to reduce their weight in a very slow way, but also slow and steady weight loss until we get to where we want it to be. We don't want to rush it either. We don't want to put the person in a situation where it becomes very difficult for everybody, both for the physician and for the patient. So, so basically, the whole idea of weight is and weight storage is how much you eat, how much do you burn, how much intake, and how much do you get out. So if you are in that level where you think you're getting a lot, especially those who drink a lot of pop, a lot of juice, and all that, I think the best thing to do is to change your mindset. Drink more water. Change your mindset. Eat less. Change your mindset. Exercise. Exercise in what you like, in what you love. And we have the most, different kinds of metabolic definitions in our medical literatures. I mean, you have carbohydrates, you have protein, you have fats, and then you have nutrients. So most of these things are, the world has advanced, and if you are getting into buying food, especially in today's technology and with the science and everything that has changed, you can actually see how much you are getting in, from how many calories you're consuming. Some of these things may be wrong, but there are some people whose job who actually are doing a lot to make sure that those figures you see are correct. So in the meantime, so even though they may not be perfect, but we can actually trust a little bit of it, because some people are doing their best to make sure that those figures, the error in those figures are not too much. Trust me, that some people are on top of that. So for now, we can try to believe those numbers and then work on it. And if you have to take medications, to help you lose weight, there are so many medications out there. And I've given people, like I said, phentermine. I've given people Mounjaro. I've given people Ozempic. I've given people testosterone shot. I've actually given people metformin, which nobody uses anymore. I mean, is used in treating obesity. People who are obese and diabetic, metformin helps. It helps a lot because it decreases appetite. And in that way help you lose weight. And when you lose weight, you actually improve your insulin resistance, allowing your insulin to work more in your muscles. So the next stage in our education is, how do you have optimal exercise? How much do you have to do? So my thing is, if you are able to do 5,000 to 10,000 steps every day, that helps your body globally. And if you can manage that with not eating so much, decrease pleasure eating, that makes a big difference in your life. And because in the end, there's a saying that prevention is better than cure. It's very easy to get into heart disease. And I understand some of the diseases we have, could be genetics. I mean, people could die in utero because of genetic problem. They could carry the genetic problem, outside the uterus, and they could have a sudden death after birth or while they were growing, and suddenly they could develop some, diseases that are difficult to treat. There are so many diseases out there, whether it is, genetic-induced cancers, genetic-induced heart disease, and a lot of syndrome out there, whether it is trisomy 21, whether it is, multiple endocrine diseases and all that. These are genetic problems that sometimes we cannot control at this time. I mean, we're working on it. I mean, doctors are every day trying to give everybody a chance to live. But the most important thing is, how do you help yourself? How do you stop smoking? How do you stop alcohol? Alcohol is a big one. I mean, everybody's keep drinking alcohol thinking is a big deal, But the problem that alcohol gives you some calories, and also doesn't help you in so many ways. Is a big cause of liver disease, pancreatitis, and it messes up your whole metabolic activity. So that's one thing people should understand about alcohol. So I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke either. I mean, I know that those things are, they're not good for you. I've been in that mindset, luckily, not to get myself involved with those bad behaviors. And I know that I've also been a guy who was drinking a lot of juice in the past, and I gained a lot of weight through that. And then I stopped drinking it. And I made a very huge improvement in my life. And I became a better person. I mean, I dropped so much weight, and I've been so active for the past 7 to 8 years that you can't even imagine. I'm so energetic, I sleep better. And that's one thing about when you are in optimal level of weight, you sleep better. And there's nothing, you can't beat a good sleep. Good sleep gives you everything you want in life, because when you sleep well, you're sharper, you work harder, you're more energetic, you're not lazy at work, and you're more productive. And that has been a very good help for me. I mean, I could sleep 5 hours and I'm done. 6 hours and I'm done. But before, I mean, you wake up and then you go to church, and by the time you know it, you're dozing off. But now, and these are benefits of, when you lose weight, everything just falls into place. I mean, all this reflux disease that people have, because all these are fats. I mean, when the fat is deposited at the junction of the esophagus and the stomach, it loses its function, and that could lead to reflux disease. And reflux disease is bad because at the end of the day, you might develop what they call Barrett's esophagus, which can lead to esophageal cancer. So the benefit um, of being in optimal weight, the benefit is so enormous. And I think we'll talk more about this next time on my next show about how to care for your health. We're going to talk about heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, stroke. We're going to talk about, how to prevent all that. We're going to talk about other, how to do a checkup, how to follow up with a doctor, and how to get yourself what your body needs. For men, at a certain stage of your life, you need to decide if you're feeling very weak. That's the same thing with women, to check your hormones and make sure everything is working the way they should. And if they need to be replaced, that's something we also do. That's part of my practice. We do hormonal replacement, especially for men. We do testosterone replacement for those who are low or those who are marginally borderline, and see if that will bring a boost. And usually it does. It has its own effects because, it makes your hemoglobin go up, it makes your PSA go up, and we'll work on that, monitor that, and make sure we get the right, make sure you don't get into trouble, but at the same time getting the most optimal benefit, when it comes to your lifestyle and when it comes to what is best for you as a person. Thank you, and God bless.